This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. Hey, what's up? Welcome to Hot Takes, the show where I respond to the hot takes you guys leave under the comment section. Kind of just jump into it, so let's just do that. First comment comes from the Browns Combine Risers and Fallers video. And Chris Charles said, Amari Cooper would be a great mentor to Xavier Leggett, very similar body type. Yeah, they do have similar body types, and I believe they ran similar 40 times. Now, obviously, his comment was dropped before the Browns traded for Jerry Jeudy. That obviously is somebody who Amari Cooper would also be a great mentor to, you know, given the fact that Amari Cooper and him both went to Alabama. They probably have a relationship from what I hear. And also they're both from South Florida. And we know Amari Cooper big into his South Florida repping. Like, he reps South Florida real hard. He also reps Alabama real hard. So he's probably real tight with Jerry Jeudy, and that might be the voice that he would listen to in the locker room, or somebody that can help him kind of get to that next level that he's been trying to get to, because Amari probably kind of understands what Jerry Jeudy's going to and understands how Jerry Jeudy will need to be able to get to that next level. So I think that's a better kind of mentorship for him. Obviously, you didn't know that it was going to do that. But Xavier Leggett, I do think they have similar body sizes. I think they also ran like similar 40 times, Xavier Leggett and Amari Cooper did. But I do think the similarities kind of stop there. Amari Cooper was a surgeon when it came to his routes. He ran routes with precision and vigor. Xavier Leggett's not a terrible route runner, but he is not Amari Cooper, or even like in the same vein as Amari Cooper. My guy Kyron Samuel, who I had on this channel, friend of the channel, dropped a really good comp to me. He told me Xavier Leggett's a lot like Dez Bryant. And that makes it like he has that play style of a Dez Bryant, right? Where he's not the biggest dude, but he plays much bigger than he is. There's a reason he can go around and lie to people, tell people he's 6'3" in South Carolina. We all believed it because he plays football like a man who's 6'3", 225, right? Amari Cooper doesn't really play like he's like 6'2", 225. Or at least like at the beginning of his career, right? Like now he tends to do that a little bit more, where he bodies guys up and kind of just goes up for 50-50 balls. But like early in Amari Cooper's run, it was about precision and finesse and good hands and quick hands and all of that. So, you know, I could see there. I mean, you could always learn from Amari Cooper, right? I think sometimes it's better that you don't have similarities to whoever mentors you, because people are naturally going to be good at things they're naturally good at. But to pick up those skills that might not come natural to them might be most important, right? And Amari Cooper could provide that kind of value to a dude like Xavier Leggett if the Browns take him, which I don't think is out the realm of possibility, because I don't think the Browns are really looking at this draft as far as needs. Like, they'll get offensive linemen because that's what this draft is good at. But I mean, if they like a wide receiver, they really like Xavier Leggett, and he's there at 55, they'll probably just take him. Basher says Ford isn't a number one running back. He can give Chubb a breather, third down receiver, but he's not an every down back. I tend to agree with this thought. I think Jerome Ford, unfortunately, kind of got exposed as not a feature back at this point of his career. He is a patient runner that likes to string things out towards the sideline. Now, Nick Chubb is similarly a patient runner who tends to string things out a little bit closer to the sidelines, right? He kind of aims to the numbers versus the sidelines. And that's not a negative for Nick Chubb, because look at Nick Chubb. Those angles to get Nick Chubb when he's trying to go to the sideline, like those little arm tackles or little jump tackles that DBs and linebackers try to get you on when you are trying to go wide, they're not effective versus Nick Chubb. Like, teams have plenty of opportunity to tackle Nick Chubb. It's hard to bring him down. That's why he always leads the league in yards after contact, because he runs a style where he's probably going to be contacted before he even reaches the line of scrimmage. But since he's so damn big and fast, he's not easy to take down, so it really doesn't matter. Jerome Ford runs that same style, but he's a good, solid. Like I've seen him side to side, Nick Chubb and Jerome Ford, at least a solid 20 pounds lighter than Nick Chubb. Definitely not the same build as Nick Chubb. Like he's significantly thinner than Nick Chubb. He's significantly thinner than Kareem Hunt. He's a lighter running back. And those guys are just a little bit easier to tackle, which means when he strings those things out and guys get an opportunity to tackle him behind the line of scrimmage, it's a lot more boom or bust whether he makes that play. And I think if he's in there in relief of Nick Chubb, then that becomes easier for him to succeed because teams aren't necessarily keying in on him. But when teams start keying in on you and you're not necessarily the heaviest running back and you're not the fastest like he's a fast running back, but he's not the fastest running back, you get results like you got with Jerome Ford, where it was very boom or bust, right? When he got to the hole, he has good enough vision and burst that he can make something happen with it. But sometimes he can't get there, right? Sometimes he doesn't carry enough momentum to break a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. A lot of the times that happens, and then he gets tackled behind the line. So yeah, that's where I'm at with Jerome Ford. I think he can be a good receiving back. I think he could be somebody that you could throw in there like on the second or third down, give him like a halfback draw or something like that, or a halfback, like a little shotgun run. But I don't think he's somebody you can have in there every down. My first mock draft for 2024, my guy says, Q, what do you think of Luke McCaffrey in the fourth round? I saw Luke McCaffrey at the Senior Bowl. I'll be honest with you, I did not walk away impressed. I felt like he was only at the Senior Bowl because of his last name. He didn't really stand out to me, to be honest with you. Like, and I was looking at him. I watched him quite a bit because, again, his last name's McCaffrey. But he didn't really stand out from the rest of the competition. I wouldn't spend a fourth round pick on him. Maybe a UDFA. Mike Martin says, in your second mock draft, Brendan Rice was still on the board and you didn't pick him. Do you think he's a bust or do you think he doesn't fit the scheme? Well, again, the Browns don't pick till like pick 55. There's no way Brendan Rice can be a bust. He's going to get drafted in the second or third round. There's no bust after the top 10 of the draft. But Brendan Rice, when you see him, right? Because I remember when I saw him at the Senior Bowl, I was like, wow, who's that? That's it. Like, that's what a wide receiver is supposed to look like. And you see him warm up, and he's a good athlete. The issue with Brendan Rice is he can't catch. He has horrible ball tracking. Now, I don't know why this is. I don't know if this is a situation where he's used to tracking Caleb Williams. And maybe Caleb Williams, who can throw at all these different arm angles and can get the ball at you from anywhere on the field, maybe he broke Brendan Rice. But the ball tracking from him was awful all week. Like, he caused like 3 or 4 interceptions in one-on-one drills simply because he can't track a football to save his life, or he couldn't during that week in Mobile for whatever reason. And then you look at his tape and you're not overly impressed with the issues that you had with him at Mobile. The hands are an issue. He got I get Greg Little watch when I watch him, right? Like he looks like a wide receiver. He can get open. I'm sure he's not slow. He's fast, and I think people give him credit for. It's just that whole receiving part, bit of an issue for him. And I know Browns fans, y'all ain't trying to deal with that. Browns want Christian Wilkins. This video about the Browns being linked to Christian Wilkins. Q, the audio has been kind of low for everybody else for the last couple of weeks. I have to turn his videos all the way up to 100%, then turn everybody else down to 60. This is weird. So I have been having to kind of reset my computer situation because if you guys remember, during the regular season, I was getting this issue where there would be no audio on parts of the video. So in order to fix that, which hasn't happened in a while, thankfully, I had to kind of reset my computer, which means that my audio normalization files got lost, especially the settings for my audio normalization. And I'm trying to figure out where I had them. I think I have them correct right now. So hopefully this video is normalized to the right percentages. And it's hard for me to tell because when I watch these videos back on the YouTube platform itself on my iPhone, it sounds fine, but I think the iPhone auto normalizes. I don't know if like other phones do. So I don't know if that can be an issue. So I'm trying to figure out what the issue is. I've seen the comments, but yeah, it's something to do with the audio normalization settings in my DaVinci Resolve. And I think I figured out what the issue was and got it back to those old settings. So it should be fine. But we'll see. We'll see. But thank you for bringing this up. Basher says, would you rather get a big name defensive tackle or fix the Wills situation? Watson takes sacks. We can't make it easier by having a no answer at left tackle. At the end of the day, we have Wright, Hurst, Ika. We don't have Zadarius. He's a free agent. Thomas and Garrett, offense, Wills, Petonio, Packett, Hubbard. My point is we got a lot of bodies in the trenches, but the middle of the defense is lacking next to Tomlinson. But the same can be said with Wills. We have to fix both expensive positions. Can we afford to do both? Solid players on two sides. Here is where I'm at on that. Is Jed Wills great? No. Is Jed Wills a disaster? No. If the Browns don't sign a defensive tackle to start, we're probably looking at Jordan Elliott starting at that other defensive tackle position. Do you think Jordan Elliott is a better defensive tackle than Jed Wills is a left tackle? I think definitively the answer is no. Jed Wills is a much better left tackle than Jordan Elliott is a defensive tackle. I think that upgrade would mean more there. And look, also, I don't often bring up Deshaun Watson's contract in a way to kind of like put expectations on him, because I think the way that people use it is kind of weird and unfair at times. But this is somewhere where the contract does come into factor. Deshaun gonna have to produce. Like, you want to get as many pieces on the defense as possible, because that's a committee game on the defensive side of the ball. You expect Deshaun to produce, even if his offensive line isn't perfect, right? Even if his wide receiving core isn't perfect, even if he's the one that has the onus to produce if things aren't perfect, because the Browns are paying him a solid percentage of the cap in order to ensure that. He has to do some of that, right? And I think when he was out there was some of that there, where I thought he played fine football when he was out there for the most part, and even helped make up for some deficiencies. I like, especially in that Baltimore game where they were getting to Deshaun Watson quite often, but he was making plays after almost getting sacked, like that touchdown to Elijah Moore where he broke out of a sack and made a touchdown throw. Like, he's gonna have to do stuff like that, and I think you should be able to rely on him to do stuff like that at the number that you're paying him, versus if you don't upgrade on the defensive side of the ball. Like, I trust that Jed Wills and Deshaun Watson will figure it out to some level, where Deshaun can find some level of comfort and try to play as safe of a style while also being a playmaker, right? That's a $46 million problem that he's got to answer himself. And I think that's a fair thing for him to answer for. Defensive tackle wise, like, there's a large upgrade between Christian Wilkins and who else could start there if they were to do that, right? So we'll see what they do, but I think it's a very different situation. Also, Jed Wills is not terrible. But we're going to leave this video with Andrew Berry, Laser Beam Eyes, because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm recording this video on Saturday. I have no idea when this video is going to drop, because I'm planning to drop this as Sunday. It's like 6 o'clock or maybe Monday morning. But also, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I'm terrified to drop this thing Monday morning, because I know that something's going to drop that's going to be something that we want to talk about on Monday morning. So probably Sunday night whenever you see this. But if you're wondering why this video might be out of sync, or this video might feel like it's coming out at a different date than it was intended to, it's this man with the laser eyes' fault. Okay, Laser Eye Andrew Berry is making this video be put in a situation where I have no idea when I'm going to drop it. But I do know I want to drop it because I love getting you guys' comments, responding to them, and reacting to them and everything like that. But y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.